This is Ryan with Rep Fitness. I'm one of the co-owners here, and today I'm presenting a raw cut video of our new PR-5000 version 2 power rack system. And this is a raw cut video where I go over who we designed this for and why we designed it the way we did. The 5000 series is our top of the line rack, and it's designed for people who are serious about strength training, or if you follow the buy once, cry once mentality of investing in something that you won't ever need to upgrade as you progress, this is the rack for you. This is the same type of rack system you'll find in Division I colleges, professional athletic training facilities, and commercial gyms that follow the cutting edge of strength training equipment. So why did we design the rack this way? First and foremost, we designed this rack with versatility in mind when it comes to attachments and expansion in the future. When you have a four-way hole pattern, it's like an erector set. It gives you options on where to place attachments and how you can configure your rack. Maybe you want to put your dip attachment off to the side of the rack today, but next week it makes more sense to have it come off the front. That's no problem when the hole pattern is consistent the whole way through the upright. It also gives us unlimited options when it comes to designing new attachments because we know we don't have any limitations with a four-way hole pattern. Another benefit with the 5000 series is the 1-inch holes just gives you more options with attachments we offer. Sometimes a 5/8 inch pin just isn't strong enough when you want to do things like use our utility horn for dips or step-ups, or a roller pad with a simple pin connection. Those 1-inch holes also mean 1-inch hardware, and while there's no doubt this is massive overkill for a power rack, there's an undeniable cool factor when you see the size of this hardware in person. Sometimes peace of mind isn't what the engineering specs say it can handle, it's what you can see and feel that eases your mind, and 1-inch hardware leaves no doubt this rack can handle anything you can lift. We also added laser cut numbering that hits every hole in the commonly used area of the rack, and we put those numbers on the front and the back of the uprights, as well as on either side of cross members. That helps make it easier to line things up, whether that's J-cups, safeties, or other attachments. It's just a time and frustration saver, as anyone who's ever lifted on an unnumbered rack can tell you. So let's go through each attachment, what it looks like, and how it works. One of the first decisions you'll have to make is what kind of J-cups to go with. So first up, we have our standard J-cups. They've got a reinforcement under the bend, as well as stainless accents and a laser cut logo. There's UHMW on all surfaces that touch your bar or your rack to protect the knurl on your bar and the paint on the rack. Our sandwich J-cups come in two varieties. One allows you to use some larger specialty bars, but a standard Olympic bar is going to have some extra space to move around in the cup. And the other sandwich J-cup is designed to keep a standard bar locked into place and also has an additional plate around the back for extra peace of mind and an even tighter fit on the rack. The benefits of a sandwich J-cup is if you happen to hit the front edge of the cup when you re-rack the bar, you won't damage the J-cup or the bar. You've also got the benefit of a little more space for your hands, so if you prefer a really wide grip for squats and other exercises, you might prefer a sandwich J-cup. Finally, we have our lower J-cups. This is something we came up with for those of you who really want a 5000 series rack, but you're worried you might be missing out on the 4000 series 1-inch hole spacing through the bench zone. This J-cup has the bar sitting 1 inch lower than our other J-cups, so if you use this in combination with another pair of J-cups, you've got 1-inch spacing everywhere on the rack. Moving on to safeties, there are a lot of opinions on what people prefer and why, but we'll just cover the basics here, starting with the pin pipe safeties. Pin pipe is the most economical way to be safe if you fail a lift. While the pipe's function is sometimes hard to wrap your head around, it actually does add a ton of strength to the system and needs to be used every time. Then we have our flip down safeties. The benefit of moving to something like our flip downs is you can now rest the bar on the safety and not worry about scratching up the bar or your safeties. That's useful for rack pulls or when you know you're pushing yourself to failure. It's also a little easier and quicker to get these set up compared to the pin pipes, so if you think you might get annoyed lining up the pipe with the pin every time you need to adjust, that's something to consider. Strap safeties are becoming more popular for many of the same reasons flip down safeties are. But with straps, you've got the added benefit of some give to them, which comes into play in a couple of ways. One, if you fail a lift, there's less chance of damage to your bar. And two, you can use them as a guide to where you should stop your lift during a set. But if you hit the strap on the way down each rep, it isn't going to throw you off the same way it would if you were hitting a pin or a flip down safety. Another unique benefit is if you set them uneven with the higher end near your head and the lower towards your feet, you can actually have the bar roll away from you on a failed bench press. The pull-up bar might be your next choice when configuring a rack, and we've got a few different options for you. Starting with the basic straight bar comes in either a standard 1 1/4 inch diameter or a fat grip 2-inch diameter. It's tried and true, you can't really go wrong there. Stepping up from that, we've got our multi-grip pull-up bar. This gives you both the standard 1 1/4 inch grip as well as a fat grip 2-inch and multiple neutral grip angles. Finally, we have the globe pull-up bar for those of you that want a great way to train grip as well as have multiple options for the pull-up bar. We also have that globe pull-up bar in a side mount configuration. So say you want those grip work options, but you also want to be able to work on some muscle ups. You could get a simple straight bar for the middle of the rack or the multi-grip there, and then add the side mount. So now that we've gone over the basics that everyone needs to choose, let's get into the fun stuff that adds a lot of value to the rack. First up is the dip attachment. This is one of our most popular attachments, tried and true. Great value and flares out to let you go a little wider or narrower grip depending on what you want. The band pegs are another simple, inexpensive add-on that adds some great functionality with doing band work. If you've never seen it done, you basically loop a strength band around the peg and then another around your barbell sleeve, and that gives you a very unique resistance curve. Moving on to storage options, another popular add-on is making a 4-post rack into a full 6-post rack with storage. And our urethane coated weight horns are a great way to store your plates with no metal on metal contact that might eventually scrape away, which is a common problem on chrome or zinc plated horns. Our utility horn is also a great multi-use storage piece. You can move it easily wherever you want to hang chains or bands, and you can also use it as a step-up point if you train with other people that can't reach the pull-up bar. And if you have two of them, they can act as dip handles when combined with our flip-down safeties or spotter arms. So if you don't want to buy the dip attachment, get 2 utility horns and you're set. We also have a couple of barbell storage options. One that holds 2 bars and another that's a single stand, and both are lined with UHMW just like all the other attachments to help protect your bar. The Landmine Attachment is another really cheap and easy way to add a lot of function to the power rack, including rotational movements, and there's actually dozens of other movements that you can do with this. There's videos all over YouTube showing you what you can do. Spotter arms are great for safety if you're working off the front of the rack. Just be aware you'd need to either bolt down a 4-post rack, or if you've got a 6-post, you need to have some weight on the back. Our lat pull down and low row attachment is a great way to add cable machine movements to your workouts, and the carabiners accept a variety of different grip attachments. The angled weight horns speed up changing weight since there's no spring clips to keep the plates on, and we've condensed the footprint to work really well in smaller spaces. If you have a 6-post rack, it's really adding almost no additional depth to the rack. Going along with the lat pull down is our leg roller attachment. You can use a pair of these along with a bench, and you've got a fantastic quality lat pull down that keeps your legs locked into place. Plus, the leg rollers can also be used creatively for other things like single leg squats and hip thrusts. With this rack system, you're also going to have a variety of colors available, and one of our newest options is stainless steel. With the stainless steel, it actually features a TIG weld, which is a really clean, cool looking weld that just adds to the aesthetics of the rack, and that's brand new and exclusive to the 5000 series.